I'm going to show you how to pipe a beautiful Christmas poinsettia. You can also pipe mini poinsettias which look really cute, but for this tutorial we're going to focus on the larger one. Now I like to crumb coat my cupcakes in green for these because any gaps you have around the edges will be filled in with leaves. And the green I like to use is Pro Gel Gooseberry Green. The petals are Pro Gel Red. I think this green is perfect for Christmas. So the first tip I'm going to use is the 366. It's the same V shape as the 352 leaf tip. Just to give you a size comparison, that's a 352. So the 366 is the same, just much larger. So remember, it's the bird's beak. You want to make sure the tip is facing forwards and the buttercream will ooze out of the sides here. So don't have too much in your bag, just a palmful. You want to push it all down to the bottom and then twist it round so it's nice and tight. And I like to wrap the bag around my thumb. Now remember the angle here. I'm not going to pipe them coming upwards, I'm going to go outwards. You want that angle flat against the cupcake. So we're not going to come up, we're going to come out. And I'm not going to start right in the center of the cupcake either. I'm just going to start about 1 centimeter in from the edge. So just place your tip a small way in, give it a good squeeze until the petal grows, and then start to move it out. So you've got this nice flat angle and you've let the petal base grow before you've started to move. Leave a gap before you pipe the next petal because you're going to make it fat at the bottom. Place your tip where you want it to be and squeeze, then slowly move out, stop squeezing and come off. Turn your cake and go again. Squeeze and off. Turn the cake, leave a gap, squeeze, let it grow, then move it out. Now this is a large gap, but I am going to fill it up. So put the tip in the middle, give it a good squeeze until it grows, and then move it out. And that's your first layer of petals done. You can see the angle here, it's against the cupcake. And now I'm going to tighten up my bag and we'll put in the next layer. So we're going to come in between the first layer here. So it's exactly the same. And I'm right at the edge of these petals. So you've got a nice big center. So place your tip in, squeeze and slowly lift. Turn the cake, squeeze and lift. Turn the cake. Remember to let the base of the petal grow quite wide before you start to move the tip. And that's how you get that lovely big shape. So squeeze, then lift and come off. And there's your 2 rows of large petals done. I'm going to put in a smaller row now in the middle, and for this I'm using the 352 leaf tip. So in exactly the same way, not too much in your bag, push it all down to the bottom and twist it round to make sure it's nice and tight. Now we're going to come in between again. So remember the angle of your tip, point it where you want it to be, touch down and squeeze, now lift and come off. Now this center row of petals are going to be smaller, so you don't have to squeeze as much, and you're just going to fill in those gaps between your larger petals. Keep moving the cake and go all the way around until you've filled them in. So there's your petals done. Now we're going to do the center, and for this I'm using a number 3 round. Let's clean it off here. So it's just this small round tip. You could use a 3 or a 4, whichever you have. So nice tight bag. My buttercream's quite soft, so it's coming out the bottom. Just clean that off. Now in the center here, I'm just going to put some short stamen in. So I'm going to just touch down in the middle, touch the tip to the cake, squeeze and lift. Do it nice and slowly. Now, it doesn't matter how many you put in here. You just want to have a few in there to fill in that center gap. So turn the cake so you can see what you're doing. Touch, squeeze, lift. You don't want them to be too thin because we're going to put yellow on the top now. So anywhere there's a gap, pop a little bit of green. So you've got something like this. And now to fill in those, I've got this number 2 round, so it's even smaller. And I've filled it with some yellow. So nice tight bag, and you don't want much in there at all. So with these, I'm going to put the end of the tip slightly inside the green stems, and then just give a little squeeze so that a little blob of yellow sticks to the green. So because this is a smaller round tip, I can just poke it inside that green bit. It's only gentle and it's not very much. It just helps that yellow to stick onto the top of it and give it a nice flat surface. So just a tiny little squeeze. So touch that tip into the green, squeeze and come off. And you'll get these sweet little stamen in the center. So there is your flower, and we're going to fill in these gaps with some leaves. So I've got here a 352 leaf tip with the gooseberry green, and it's exactly the same as before, the bird's beak. So remember your angle, you want to point it to where you want it to be, and we'll put a gap in between each leaf, or each petal I should say. So remember the angle, and these are going to be flat too, so just squeeze and come off. Touch the cake with the tip, squeeze and come off. And it's just nice to give an added bit of detail and to fill in those gaps, make it look more realistic. So there's the poinsettia all piped, and now for a little added detail, we're going to put some colour on these little yellow stamen here. So I've got a plate and some neat colour and a little cocktail stick. Now just squeeze out onto the plate a really tiny amount of the colour. Oh, it's like a toothpaste tube, you have to work it down. So that's all I'm going to use. That's probably too much, but if you're doing a few poinsettias, that's all you're going to need. That's plenty. So take the tip of your cocktail stick and just dip it into the colour. You don't need very much. And then really gently just put some little dots on top of each yellow splodge. And that just gives a little bit of added detail to make your poinsettias look more realistic. It's not essential, but it is a nice touch. Just the last one. I get a little bit carried away doing these things. Alright, and that's your poinsettia done.